June 27, 2003.
What happened? What was the circumstance?
I'd been living outside for a long time. Found that the only things I was spending money on was coffee and cigarettes, occasionally food. And then I had my birthday check my dad sent me, and me and a few friends went and got really drunk. And then it just occurred to me that I'd rather not use money anymore. And that it was just all so much bullshit. The whole construct, it had to do with pride, it had to do with people thinking they owned stuff, and it detracted from the reality of the situation, whereas that we're all angels and that we didn't have the right to be afraid and we didn't have the right to be angry at anything. Defending our mortality with psychopathic behavior is not an excuse. And so I was just going to let my life reflect that and rather be dead than do psychopathic things to survive.
What do you think of other people who use money and
like everyone else, there's no evil in the world, and anyone caught in a trap of living in this world and the rules that it seems to have is only a victim of naivety, and that we'll all get through it. More examples that people see that they don't have to do it. And so I don't hold any resentment against anyone who is caught in that world. It's just a matter of time.
And so now, like, you're determined about tomorrow. You're going to go do it.
Seems it.
I mean, what if the judge's ruling comes out today? Then that could change it.
Yeah, or if the judge sent word somehow to say, Mr. Johnston, if you please, wait a week or so and see if we can get something done, something like that. But he got a good letter saying that it's, as I live, that I'll file for a sentence appeal and bail if he comes out with his ruling while I'm in jail.
The document that you sent yesterday, what do you think? How do you think that's going to impact his decision, or do you think that's going to impact his decision at all?
Well, it should. He'll have a better idea of what's going on and what's at stake, and not that the Supreme Court's being held hostage. It's just coincidental that a ruling that is being waited on could very well determine whether I live or die in the next month or so.
You told me, I believe yesterday, that you believed in the Constitution, the Charter of Rights.
The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms is a genuinely sacred article. Mostly because it contains the supremacy of God clause, which transcends the rule of law clause. It gives rights to the individual, and if people made friends with the Charter, then they would know how to defend themselves against more corrupt lawmakers.
And I guess the one other question that I have is, you mentioned that the city, in passing laws, should have to go before a constitutional master, you call it?
Well, generally, a legislative body, aka municipality, people who are making the laws, that's their purview, that's what they get to do. Except in this case, now that twice or three times the city has shown an ineptitude of being able to put together any constitutionally compliant bylaw having to do with erecting temporary abodes, that showing its record in that, it would be wisest for the court to order the city to have any new proposed bylaw or new proposed bylaw amendment having to do with the erecting of tents should go in front of a constitutional master before it happens, so they won't have to keep on wasting years of the court's time in challenges. You have the people making the laws, which are supposed to be competent people, and then if a law passes through council, and then that law is contestable, then it becomes the public person's responsibility to challenge that law, and then take it before the Supreme Court for assessment. And so essentially a municipality can make any law it wants, and however illegal, and they don't have to change it until some ordinary Joe gets effed over and dedicates 10 years of his life to changing it.
Very noble work you're doing. I got one last thing, and then my arm's going to be too tired. Can you quickly explain God?
Infinite universe, all things moving in one direction towards the future. God can be described in 2 words: fate and patience. And that's all you need, and you can think about that for a few months, and then you go, oh, that's what God is. It has to do with, if you love truth, put your mind on it and you'll figure it out. There's a reason they say pride is a sin. All that stuff. You're not the originator of the thoughts in your head. The thoughts in your head are coming from the experience that your ego has had leading to the now, and how it's dancing with the rest of the world. And so no one's ever made a choice before, and no one will ever make a choice. And that's why there's no such thing as evil, and why fear and anger are childish delusions.
So you don't think you're making a choice to go down to City Hall tomorrow?
No.
You have to do this.
It's just something that's going to happen.
And like you just there's no decision process, just a clarity in your mind.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
It is. I get to enjoy being a rare ego.
What if you're wrong?
That's a redundant question.
Thank you, David.